From WDAZ, your home team, this is WDAZ News at 10.
Tonight, new documents show that All True Hospital will take a larger role in the UND Family Practice Center.
Find out why local business owners say strip malls and so-called power centers are bringing more people to Grand Forks.
And the Army is calling back thousands of retired and discharged soldiers for possible duty overseas. I'm Stephanie Byro. I'll talk to a local soldier who's being recalled coming up.
Good evening. All True Health System will play an expanded role in the UND Family Practice Center starting tomorrow.
Well, 6 family practice doctors who just a few months ago threatened to resign will become employees of All True rather than the School of Medicine. WDAZ News has obtained documents that show how a major dispute between the physicians and the school has been resolved. According to those documents, the physicians will be All True employees for up to 3 years, though some may leave or retire before then. Their replacements may end up employed by either All True or the school. Officials of both institutions will make up an advisory committee that oversees the center. Now, family practice will remain, staff will remain as UND employees. The staff will. All True will receive net income from private practice at the center, and the 6 physician faculty and all current residents will not have any research requirements, which had also been a sticking point along with funding and management issues. The advisory committee will oversee some of those problems. All True board chairman Robert Peabody helped to broker this deal as a member of a negotiating committee. He says the threat earlier this month by some of the residents, almost all of them, to transfer from UND helped shift the focus to student needs. Peabody says it was unfair to hold the students at bay while the two sides negotiated. Peabody says the agreement means the center is a better program than it was before. 5,600 retired and discharged soldiers are being recalled for active duty for possible service in Iraq or even Afghanistan.
Well, WDAZ's Stephanie Byro spoke with one local soldier who has been recalled. She joins us now from the newsroom with more. Steph?
Cassie Milo, former enlisted soldiers who did not serve at least 8 years are eligible to get a callback. It's part of the Army's plan to fill vacancies in Army units. The members of the Individual Ready Reserve are given 2 options: volunteer to join a reserve unit of their choice or be called up for duty somewhere else.
What do you think about the Damon Reynolds got a phone call about a month ago telling him he was being recalled.
I don't want to go back. I can understand. I mean, I've been out a year and I really don't want to go back in, but I signed a contract stating that I would do 2 years in active duty, and it's one of the hazards of the job, you could say.
Reynolds previously served 6 years with the North Dakota National Guard's 188th F Battery. He said he took the option of joining up with a different unit of the 188th, hoping the unit will not be sent overseas.
So I chose to volunteer. I'm with HHB now, and all I do is, as of yet, you know, my normal weekend drills. But things could change and they could get activated too, so who knows.
Reynolds says the decision to join a Guard unit rather than waiting to see if he would be sent overseas was easy to make.
I have a 18-month-old child, and you know, a year and a half at that young is, you miss out on a lot.
Reynolds will complete his contract next summer. If the National Guard unit has joined is not called up before that time, he will be finished with his duty. If the unit is deployed, Reynolds will remain with the unit until its active duty is complete. The Army plans to bring the soldiers on active duty in phases from this July to December 2004. They will be assigned to mobilized Army Reserve and National Guard units.
All right, thanks, Steph, reporting from the newsroom. Well, a doctor at a hospital in Fallujah says that 4 people were killed and 10 wounded in the latest U.S. airstrike on the city.
American military officials say they targeted a suspected hideout of a terrorist leader.
In the country he once ruled, Saddam Hussein is now a criminal defendant. He's been formally transferred into Iraqi legal custody in preparation for tomorrow's court appearance by Saddam and 11 of his top lieutenants, but his trial on war crimes charges is still probably months away.
And short-term interest rates have been pushed up 0.25% by the Federal Reserve, which hopes to keep the economy and inflation in check. Experts say another modest increase may be on tap for August. The Fed made clear that more drastic moves would be made if needed.
A rape trial involving a mentally disabled Fargo woman has started in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. 22-year-old Gail Erickson took the stand during the opening day of David Sukup's trial. She testified today that Sukup drove her from North Dakota to Sioux Falls, where they stayed with some of Sukup's friends. She said she told Sukup she didn't want to have sex and asked him to stop, but she says he refused. In his opening statement, defense lawyer Scott Carlson said Erickson willingly went with Sukup to Sioux Falls. He said they had planned to get married and had consensual sex.
An attempted murder charge against a Larimore man has been reduced. 43-year-old Paul Byron Hebert was charged with attempted murder after a March 13th shooting at his home in Larimore. Police say after Hebert shot 38-year-old John Axvig in the leg, he then held police at bay for 5 hours. Hebert's attorney, Steve Light, says Hebert will now plead guilty to 2 counts of reckless endangerment instead of being charged with attempted murder. After the incident, John Axvig was treated and released from Altru. Hebert will be in court next week to accept the plea bargain.
The body of a 79-year-old woman has been found in Hallock, Minnesota. Authorities say that the body of Celia Smolek was found in some trees of the south branch of the Two Rivers spillway last night. Kitson County Sheriff Kenny Hultgren says the body was spotted by a carnival worker. The sheriff says he does not suspect foul play. Authorities believe the cause of death was drowning, but they say they're trying to determine the circumstances leading to it. Well, strip malls and power centers, or a cluster of stores, are being built in Grand Forks.
Old Menards store, the old Sears store, and the Bronson property are all being populated with smaller stores instead of big retailers, and business owners say that's bringing more people to Grand Forks. WDAZ's James DeGelder reports.
Menards is turning its old building into a strip mall with 9 tenants. Pat Flynn, director of sales for Menards, says the new strip mall will offer their new facility more parking and also create the opportunity for cross-shopping.
We're going to feed off the Menards, but we're all going to be able to work with each other and develop our businesses in a more coordinated effort versus us trying to do it all by ourselves.
Wedin also has a SUPERCUTS going into the strip mall near Ralph Engelstedt Arena and 2 other stores currently in strip malls. Wedin, along with the manager of the Grand Cities Mall, says strip malls and power centers are becoming the trend because people want the variety and the convenience.
It's all about traffic, and so you need the big stores with the discount stores and the corporate names to get the traffic to come in. So it helps everybody, the interior stores in the mall that are destination stores.
The president of the Grand Forks Chamber of Commerce says the greater variety of stores stops people from going elsewhere.
It allows people also to develop and expand existing businesses or try their hand at creating a new retail venture here in our community. I don't believe that it's taking from the existing market, but rather creates an opportunity for us to expand the market.
Small business owners say they like strip malls because they can get prime retail space to maximize profits. In Grand Forks with photographer Dave Llewellyn, James DeGelder, WDAZ News.
While there's a lot of work on retail buildings around Grand Forks, one prime piece of retail space remains empty. The anchor of the west end of the Columbia Mall has been empty since Target moved out about 4 years ago. The new owners of Columbia Mall would like to see something in there, but GK Development doesn't own the space. Target Corporation does. GK's president told WDAZ News in April that Target was ready to sell, but today a GK spokesperson would not comment on where those negotiations stand, and Target did not return our calls today. Well, plans are underway to relocate busy Highway 281 to higher ground.
And skies have turned partly cloudy this evening while temperatures have cooled down. The latest in tonight's Weather Watch forecast.
And a man gets to own the first home of his life in McCanna, North Dakota under a new government program.
Your home team news continues live with Cassie Walder, Milo Smith, meteorologist John Wheeler, and Pat Sweeney Sports.
Allan Laurila always wanted to own his own home, but because he was disabled and on a limited income, he didn't think that dream could come true. But today near McCanna, North Dakota, it did. Laurila applied for the United States Department of Agriculture's single-family loan program, and after being accepted, he chose a home in McCanna near his job at Grand Forks Air Force Base.
Well, without this program, I never would be able to afford to buy a home, or, you know. I think it's a good program. It's going to benefit a lot of people who want to own a home, but they just can't afford to buy one of their own.
If you would like to see if you're eligible for the USDA's program, contact the Office of the Grand Forks Housing Authority.
Highway 281 near Minnewacan has been through some tough times this spring because of the rising water of Devil's Lake. On days when the wind blows from east to west, highways often crash over the roadway. Earlier this spring, the damage was so severe that 281 had to be closed. Large chunks of asphalt were torn up and dead trees blocked traffic. The highway has since reopened and a number of projects have kept the road passable. And plans are now underway to relocate 281 to higher ground. But Minnewacan Mayor Mike Avery says it's vital that 281 remain open because it's a lifeline for several communities. Some people not happy with the new route because the road will no longer pass through Minnewacan, but supporters say drivers will be able to access it via Main Street.
The 4th of July is this Sunday, and many of you will likely be firing off fireworks that night. Jerry Breyer from Generous Jerry's Firework says he's seeing more families than teenagers coming in this year. He says families with loved ones overseas this 4th of July may have more of a patriotic meaning.
With the Iraqi war, that may have something to do with it. You know, people are patriotic. I think the average American thinks in terms of that it's an American thing to do, you know, to celebrate the 4th of July, our founding.
Breyer says he expects fireworks sales to be up this year with the 4th landing on a weekend. Fireworks in North Dakota are only on sale for 9 days ending on July 5th. Well, personally, I'd rather have it hot like today than cool like our spring. I'm more of a hot weather kind of a...
Well, we skipped right from cool weather right up to hot. We missed those nice little 75-degree days. Well, tomorrow won't be quite as warm as today, and our best chance of rain this week will probably be on Friday. John will tell us all about it in WDAZ Weather Watch next.
Good evening. Tonight, our WDAZ-8 Weather Watch headline, the sun. We had another beautiful sunny day today, but this evening, skies began to cloud over, at least become partly cloudy, and we've sort of lost our clear skies, but it looks like the dry weather will last for at least another day. After that, I'm not making any promises as we head toward the end of the week. Skies have not exactly turned overcast, but a few clouds have drifted in out of the west, much thicker clouds way out to the west and covering parts of South Dakota, Montana, and western North Dakota, and there are a few scattered showers way out to the west as well. You can see them coming out of Montana, and some widely scattered storms stretching across southern South Dakota all the way into the Twin Cities area, a little line that's made it almost as far north as about Watertown, South Dakota, and out west a few showers have made it almost to the North Dakota border. These are slowly pushing in our direction, but the air locally is just too stable, too dry, a little bit too cool to allow for any storm growth in our area for tonight. The high in Grand Forks today at 78 degrees, the morning low 59, pretty close to but slightly below the seasonal average for today. And it has cooled down quite a little bit tonight. We're already at 67 here in the Forks area. 66 Devils Lake, 63 Halleck, 66 Thief River Falls. Temperatures have cooled down behind a weak cool front that blew through our area during the day. Tomorrow we'll spend the day on the north side of that cool front, which means we'll continue seeing the light northeasterly winds. Skies tomorrow likely to be sunny to partly cloudy. Early morning temperatures down to around 50. I think it'll cool down a bit. At 8 o'clock, though, will be about 54. Noontime back up close to 70 and well into the 70s tomorrow afternoon. This is not going to be cool weather such as what we were getting a week ago. This is just a little bit cooler than the last couple of days. Big picture showing high pressure trying to drop into the area. This is some cool weather with this high, but instead of dropping straight south, it's more headed toward Manitoba. This stationary boundary basically marking the difference between dry and cooler and warmer and more humid air to the west. Warm front low pressure building up into western North Dakota, where it's likely to rain tomorrow. For our own region, though, it looks like mostly sunny skies. We'll get a few clouds blowing off from the west from those storms, but the storms tomorrow will stay in the western Dakotas, maybe central South Dakota. But they'll start moving in our direction, bringing at least a chance of a few scattered thunderstorms to our region by Friday. That forecast and the forecast for the 4th when we come back.